Go on, yours.
And they talking about Islam, and they say that it was from the beginning there was Islam. And then I asked them if there was Islam at the beginning, and if you say that Moses.
Have you got a cup? Finish what you want.
Okay, sorry.
And I asked them, they say there was Islam from the beginning.
Yeah.
And they mentioned some prophets to confirm that Islam was there.
Yeah.
And then I asked them if there was Islam at the beginning. And the history told us that Islam starts from the 6th century.
Yeah.
And how come? I told them, can you give me an evidence? It shows that whatever from the Quran or from the Bible,
Yeah.
it shows there is Islam. And
So go on. Like.
and then they say that Islam means submission.
Yeah. But the thing is, in my experience of this kind of argument, what they do is they make the definition of Islam so vague and so broad that they could call anyone Muslim. But when they use that definition of Islam, that Islam simply means one who submits to God. Well, by this definition, I can claim to be a Muslim. So if a definition is so broad and so general that anyone can claim it for themselves, it doesn't help the discussion and it doesn't prove anything. Because the reality is, by that definition, every Christian can claim to be a Muslim. Every Christian. I can stand right here and say I'm a Muslim by that definition. So they prove nothing by using it at all. Because it's so broad, they can capture anyone with it, and they capture people even that they don't want. Do you know what I'm saying? And the reality of it is that there's no evidence of Islam before the 7th century. None.
There's no concrete evidence.
There's absolutely zero evidence of Islam before the 7th century, except unless they use a definition of Islam that is so broad and universal that they can apply it to anyone and anyone can apply it to themselves. And that kind of definition doesn't need to be followed, because in terms of a definition, it's useless. And that's the whole argument is based upon people's ignorance. It's assuming that someone can't see the logical fallacy of the argument, and it's there to dupe people.
They gave me an example that the religion, the Jewish religion, they say it came from the name Judah. So the time between the Jewish religion and the Judah is very different.
Yeah.
So they say the important thing is the meaning. So Islam means submission to Allah.
Yeah.
For those who are submit to Allah, like Moses, Abraham, those they say those are Muslims.
Right. But that doesn't mean that's just word games. It's just word games. Because what they're saying is, because we've got a name and a definition to a name that we can then apply to any Old Testament prophet, that proves that our religion is true, is a logical fallacy. That doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove nothing at all. The name of a religion doesn't prove that it's true. And if your use of that name is to give such a broad definition that anyone can be described as a Muslim and anyone can claim to be a Muslim, then what have you proven? That means that their use of that terminology doesn't prove anything. Because I can claim to be a Muslim by that definition. So they're not proving that the prophets followed Islam. What they're doing is they're taking a term and expanding it so widely that anyone it can be applied to anyone, and anyone can apply it to themselves. That doesn't prove anything. That's just a word trick. That's all it is. You know, and if people can't see that logical fallacy, they can get duped. But it is just a word trick. It's literally smoke and mirrors created by the use of terms. What does it prove? Well, how does it prove the truth of something? That if you say that the term Judaism comes from Judah, that doesn't prove whether Judaism is the truth or not. It doesn't prove anything about what is true. You know, so this kind of logical fallacy doesn't need to be take a follow-up.
Quick question: what would we know about the etymological definition of Allah?
It comes.
should ask this question
Yeah.
for Muslim. I go to
Well, from what I understand of it, Allah is it comes from the Arabic illah. It is a contraction of al-ilah, which means the God.
Sorry,
And it's a contraction of two terms that were
it's a title.
Well, it was a pagan god. Allah was the name of a pagan god in part of the paradigm of pagan gods that were worshipped by Arab pagans. And when Muhammad was speaking to Arab pagans, he called his god the name of their supreme god.
Still a title, isn't it? Still a title.
The god, yeah, it's
So
not a
what do
personal
they
name.
say about
It's
the
not
name
a
of
personal
God?
name.
What is the name of God?
Well, they would say that Allah has 99 names that describe his attributes, but I think some Muslims might argue that Allah is a personal name. However, it isn't really. It's not the equivalent of Yahweh, the blessed name of the divine. It's not a personal pronoun in that way. It's the equivalent, I think, in Hebrew of Allah, which just means God. And Allah could be used to describe any god, pagan or true.
Correct me, Bobby.